Hello, everybody. How are you guys doing? This is Jasmine Payne, or let me say this. I'm Sade Red of Black Women Diaries. Hey, Eric.
I'm Erica D. What's up, y'all?
Hello,
A
hello.
little under the weather today, but it's all good.
Okay. So, yes, Erica D is under weather day. So, we are not together in the same like normal because I'm going to let her, stay where she is. But we have two very special guests today on our show. If you are not familiar, October was Domestic Violence Awareness Month. But so yes, we're a little late, but you can never talk about it too much or too many times. So the first person that I will bring on first is Miss Lashundra.
Hi,
Hey, hey,
how
this
you
is.
doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
I just introduced you. Like this is this Lashundra, and I'll let you also give yourself another introduction after we bring in Amy, and I'm going to bring in our last guest, Miss Amy. Hey,
Hey,
Amy.
how's everybody doing?
Good, good. How are you?
Good, good.
All right. So that's all. Make sure everybody had their mic and stuff together. Everybody sounds good. Perfect. So, I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself again. This is the Black Women Diaries podcast. I'm trying to see why is it doing that. Let me see. Try to arrange it really quick. Okay, Erica D. I don't know what happened, but she got out. Okay, great. We'll do it like that. All right, there y'all go. So, like I said, I'm Sade Red of Black Women Diaries. I don't know what happened to Erica D's connection. I'm gonna let her come back when she can, but I'm gonna let my ladies introduce themselves. And just give name, where you from, etc. Like that. We'll start that way before we go into the questions and the heavy stuff. I'll wait till Erica kind of gets here again for the heavy stuff to get here. So, Miss Lashundra, I will let you go first.
Okay, my name is Lashundra Glenn Smith. I'm from Birmingham, Alabama. Um, I'm 45 years old. I have four children, and what is it? Okay, I'm nervous.
It's okay. Just woosah. Just be yourself. Just be comfortable. That's what we are. It's okay.
Let's see, right now.
That's it about you, Miss Glenn.
Yeah.
Okay, so so then I'm gonna go to Amy. Amy, just introduce yourself, be yourself, be comfortable, get a little, give them a little taste about who you are.
Okay. All right, so my name is Amy Morgan, and I'm from Bessemer, Alabama. I'm 30 years old, and hey, this is me. This is it. I have no kids. I'm single. So yeah.
Okay. So again, I don't know what's going on with Erica's service or what's going on, so I'm gonna keep it going until she comes back in. Um, so again, like I said, in the somewhat in the intro, this is, or it was past Domestic Violence Awareness Month, but I knew you ladies from your stories. Miss Lashundra, I knew you from Ramsey High School PTA football. Amy, I know you from being in my photo shoot recently about a couple months ago. So,
Mhm.
and I both heard your stories, and I just wanted to have you guys on to again tell your story, tell your testimony, life before, life during, and life after domestic violence. And so I don't know who wants to go first or who wants. Okay, since Miss Lashondra introduce herself first, Amy, Amy,
No,
I get.
I was gonna let her go first. That's why I was like, go ahead,
I know you like.
go ahead. I got your back. I got your back. Go ahead. You go first.
So, Miss Lashondra, if you can get, like I said, a little backstory of a little bit before, like I said before, the person you were dating or who made this happen to you anyway, and then like during and your story afterwards and how life is now. as a survivor of domestic violence. Like I said, these two women are both survivors of domestic violence, and they have an amazing story to tell. So I'm gonna mute my mic and let you have the show.
Okay. Well, before, well, still is. I'm a go getter. I'm very involved, very active in my children's life. So I was always at the school or working. Um, we didn't date long before we got married. Um, we got married in 2006, and I was shot December 2007. Um, I didn't know much about domestic violence then. When you're not aware of it, you always think it's physical. But now looking back, signs were there, but I didn't have any knowledge of it because I'd never been in a domestic violence situation. I was just like, as long as him put his hands on me, I'm good. The arguing, the fussing, always upset, something always just couldn't please him, basically. And like I said, then I did not know that was part of domestic violence, abuse. Um, I just always thought it was physical. Well, on December the 9th, 2007, he shot me. He shot me twice. It started about 1 o'clock. Well, I was gone. Well, he was gone that entire day. And I end up going over my best friend's house because around that time their parents' birthday is in December, and they always did a gathering or whatever. So I always went before, during, and after him. And this particular night, I went and he ended up coming home early. So I called the house. We didn't have cell phones at the time. We only had landlines. So I called the house and he answered the phone, asked me where I was, and I told him, I was like, I told you, where I was. And he was like, all right, don't come home. And I'm like, oh, I can come home. And he was like, well, I'm leaving. I said, okay. So me thinking nothing, I came on home. My friends brought me home. And I'm expecting him not to be here, but when I got here, he was here. He was pulled up in the yard. So I came in the house and I'm like, well, we just finna argue. This is what I'm thinking. We just finna argue or whatever. So I go to the back because now it's about one something in the morning. I go to the back, get ready for bed, and he come in and he started an argument. True enough, started an argument about my friend's car. Didn't that truck pass by him? It's like, no, the truck didn't pass by him. Yes, it is. You calling me a lie? It's like, no, it didn't. So he pushed me, and I pushed him back. And when I pushed him back, he pulled the gun out and he shot me in my thigh. And when he shot me in my thigh, I ended up on the bed, landing on the bed. But somehow I ended up on the opposite side of the bed on my knees. And he walked around and shot me in my back close range. So when he shot me in my back close range, I'm just, well, the first shot I was just like, what's really going on? In my head, I'm thinking like, did this really just happen? Like it took me by surprise. So now I'm down here not knowing what bag he gonna come out now. I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, please. I'm praying to myself, Lord, please just let me stay here to raise my kids. And he ended up leaving out the room and he came back in. What about the kids and all that? And I'm like, they gonna be all right. Cause now I don't know what bag you coming out of. So now I got to, you know, play on your turf now because I'm scared now. Um, once he shot me in my back, I actually thought he was gonna shoot me a third time in my head. A pillow fell over my, I mean, not a pillow, a towel fell over my head, and he was like, "Move that towel." I was like, "Don't shoot me no more." He was like, "Move the towel." I said, "Please don't shoot me no more." And at that point, that's when he left out the room. So I'm laying there and I'm praying. Now, honestly, I was about to just give up, but because I didn't know. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. Ain't nobody out. Can't nobody hear me. I can't get to a phone because he had one of the landlines was gone and he had the only other working one in his hand. So, like I said, I started praying and I started calling my children's name. So he ended up coming back in the room. And when he came back in the room, he ended up getting on the bed going to sleep. So when he went to sleep, I managed to crawl all the way from my bedroom out to the backyard because my mom lives behind me and I was trying to crawl to her house. But when he shot me in my back, the feelings left right then. So I end up flipping over on my back and I didn't know how to flip myself back over. So I just laid there and I was like, Lord, whoever find me, I'm just gonna lay here to whoever find me. And he ended up waking up and he was like, um, what you doing out here? I told you not to leave. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me.
No, it's nothing to forgive. This is your testimony. This is your story. It's no telling who you're going to help with your story. That is the purpose of me having this live. So it's nothing to be ashamed of. This is you're here. You're here for a purpose, and I want you to remember that.
So um once I made it out to my backyard and I flipped over and I was trying to yell for help, but couldn't nobody hear me. And I saw the back porch light flicking on and off, and I knew then he had woke up and he was looking for me. So he came out the back door and he was like, "What you doing? You out here, your clothes all down?" He was like, "I told you not to move." He said, "You got to get back in the house." And I was like, "Well, I can't move. You got to help me back in the house." So he dragged me from outside, dragged me back to the kitchen. And I was like, "Just let me lay right here." And so he ended up getting on the couch, going to sleep again. And by this time, they start breaking. And I'm just like, what are we going to do? I said, when we're gone, the kids, soon as they wake up, they come straight home. I said, and I do not want them to see this. He was like, I don't know. I said, I tell you what. I said, call your sister and tell your sister to call the ambulance. I said, I'll tell them it was an accident. He was like, no, they ain't gonna believe it. I said, yes, they will, because that's what I'm gonna tell them. So he called his sister, told his sister, what I said. She asked to speak to me. And when she asked to speak to me, she was like, okay, we're gonna stick to the story. I said, okay, you know. So um give me a moment. Okay. So I told him, I asked him, I was like, what are we gonna do? I said, day is breaking and the kids gonna come home. I said, I don't want them to see this. Like, I don't know. Well, call your sister, tell your sister to call the ambulance. And I tell them, it was an accident. He was like, they ain't gonna believe. I said, yes, they are. So he called her. She asked to speak to me. She was like, "We're gonna stick to the story, okay?" I said, "Okay." So he got the phone back from me, and he hung up from her, and he was like, "Well, should I leave or should I stay?" I said, "I don't know." I said, "Ask your sister." And he asked her, and I assume she told him to leave, but he did pull off. I was laying in the kitchen floor, and he ended up leaving the phone by me when he pulled off. And when I heard the car pulling off, that's when I called my mom, and she came over. She stepped in the door praying, and she just, just kind of lost it. And so I end up having to call the ambulance, till mom got herself together. And I called 911, gave them the information, and the ambulance came. I didn't receive any help to about, it was about 8:30, 9 o'clock. And people ask me, do I think if I would have just laid there, would I be able to walk? I don't know. I can't say, but when he shot me at close range, so it shattered um, that bone back there. So he did end up getting caught. He actually shot himself in the arm, and I guess he was gonna say self-defense if I died. Well, I didn't. And as my dad said, he left the victim and the witness alive. Um, I refuse to let it stop me. I got 4 kids, so I couldn't stop. They need me. To this day, they still need me. And I refuse to give up. I refuse to, you know, let people have pity parties. I got too much to live for. I have too much to do. Like I said, I'm a very active parent. So I'm always there. Always. Anybody knows me would know. I'm always there. Um, he pled guilty to attempted murder, and he pled guilty to 25 years. He got to serve 20 years straight before he's eligible for anything. And I'm sorry, my plans are to, when those 20 years are up, to go to the parole hearing and get my other five. I want all of it, because it was unnecessary. It didn't have to happen. Um, Life after, I'm still rolling, but I'm rolling with some extra wheels. I'm still very active. I work, so it's I'm still me, you know. So all I can say, y'all, God is good. God is good. Oh my
Yes,
God, He's
ma'am.
so
Yes,
good.
ma'am.
He is so good, y'all. I promise y'all. I don't even supposed to be here. 8.5, 9 hours. I was supposed to be here, but God had something else in store for me and my family. Thank you all.
I just know from some of the comments that have came in so far. I'm I admire you. One, I admire you for one, because it takes a lot. First off, it couldn't be me. And you say that, and no, like you said, we say that, like, we say, oh, it can't be me, it wouldn't be me, but you never know, and
You
that's the
never
thing,
know.
you never know.
Yeah.
And to lay there that long, and you have a story. I guess that's why I wanted y'all here, because you have a story. This is your story. It's your testimony. It's no telling. Like you said in the beginning, you at the time you didn't know the signs, but now you can
Right.
see them. And I don't think I think when you care for people, you ignore it. I know it's no think you ignore it. You truly do ignore
Yeah.
it when you care for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
first off, and I know I wonder if Erica D did catch on to this. Um, when she said, "Oh, I'm a protect," basically you were protecting him. You were gonna say, "Oh, it was self defense or it's an accident." I said, "Baby, I would tell the truth. The whole
Mhm.
truth ain't nothing but the truth." Because
Well, I did. I
right,
did. I
but
told
initially, you that's not what your plans were.
I was my plans were to tell him that so
Okay.
he can go on about his business. Oh, I always planned to tell.
Oh,
I just had to
very
get
good.
him on, my turf because at this time he done shot me and I don't know where he's coming from now. So
Okay.
I had to try to get on his side, to get what I need.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
but even still, you got someone that would think like that to still protect them. And you know what I'm saying? Erica and I have spoken about that, saying like how people can, black women will protect a black man first before they protect us. And
Mhm.
so I'm gonna let Erica go on to that because I just, I like I said, when you said that's the first thing that came to my mind. We were just discussing this in a previous episode about how black women are the backbone of black men, good and bad.
Yeah.
So Erica D, I'm gonna let you kind of back off on that and
Mhm.
backpedal off of that one.
Well, I just want to say, I admire your story, and I think you're, a strong person. And I'll just say like that I'm sorry, I can't talk. Domestic violence awareness is something that's kind of always been like near and dear to my heart as a cause, just because I know people that are survivors. I have people in my family, that are survivors. My grandmother is a survivor, and I won't get too deep into that. But yeah, so like she said, we were just, having a conversation about how black women are always protecting black men. When you look at the situation with Meg the Stallion and that little short dude, I don't want to call his name, and how she protected him, and was saying like when she got shot that she didn't want to say that he shot her, which he did, but so that's just, I could go on and talk about that, but I won't. I'll let y'all, share y'all experience. But yeah.
So, like I said again, and those who are watching, continue to comment, show these women so much love because again, this is their story, but maybe somebody else can hear this. Like I said, I know me personally, the first experience of really witnessing domestic violence was in high school, freshman. It was freshman or sophomore year. I was friends with a girl. Like I said, I won't mention her name, but I'll never forget her coming to school with bruises on it, and she was bandaged up from a guy beating on her. And again, you could never think like what, and it was. I remember her saying, "Well, I made him upset, or I did." No, it's not your fault. Nothing is ever your fault in those situations. And but seeing that visually, knowing that you have people who truly do and who truly do this, and it's not just women, men go through it too. It's more common in women than it is men. And but to see it at 14, 15 years old, a teenager going through that, like that was my first personal experience of it. Like I said, it's everybody has a story and everybody has a way of dealing with your story. Like I said, as they would say to those who are survivors, y'all the lucky ones, but it's hard. Like it's still, I can only imagine it's hard for you guys because look at also the outcome and what, like I said, but don't let it ever stop you, Sean. Don't ever let it stop who you is. I know Amy is definitely not, let it stop who you are, Miss Lashundra. I've seen how active you are with your kids. Like I said, if wasn't nobody there, like I said, my daddy said Sean would be there. If wasn't nobody there, Sean was there. So your stories are very touching. I'm trying to hold back, and Miss Glenn, you have stuff you trying to hold back. This is a safe space, but I really do appreciate you coming on our podcast to showcase your story and tell your story, because somebody has to hear it. And verbal abuse is real.
Yeah.
Like I said, and that's where it can start. And I also, like I said, and don't get me wrong, I still think of those who are doing the domestic violence themselves or the verbal abuse. Is no telling what they saw too growing up. And I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm not saying it's an excuse. What I'm saying is, you don't know what they saw growing up. You don't know if that was something that was in their household. So that's what they know. That's what they understand. So, Amy, I'm gonna let you now come on and share your story before, during, and after. And then we can keep going into questions and things of that nature. So, Amy, I'm gonna let you take the stage.
Oh, bro. Okay. Hey, y'all, again. So basically, how my story happened was, it was 2010, and before 2010, you were talking how people are teenagers, and you can't believe you see young people go through that stuff. Well, I was a teenager when mine started. I was actually 13 years old, and he was the only guy I had ever been with. So from 13 all the way until 19 was like he was my everything. I didn't know anything else. And you gotta also remember, like, you don't have a father figure, you don't have like any parents, anybody to help guide you, and then you get this guy that comes into your life, and you're like, oh, he's so this and he's so that, and that's kind of like how mine started, because he was everything that I never had as a child. So it was like, okay, this is my way out. This is my dad, my uncle, my brother, everything that I was looking for. And so that's my little background before. Like, you could look at him and you could look at me and say, oh, they're not going through anything. They never argue, they never fight. But behind closed doors, it's a totally different story. Like, we're nothing alike. And I tell people that all the time. Like, I could put on a face out in public, like, oh, I'm so happy. But then behind closed doors, I'm getting beat up. I'm getting talked to like I'm crazy or like I'm nothing. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. And so basically, what happened to me was my ex fiance, he shot me 3 times because I left him. He shot me in my hand, my chest, and in my back. I was getting off work at 1 o'clock in the morning, which was kind of weird hearing her story. And I'm like, wow, 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was getting off work, and as I was walking out of the door, with my food and my purse and stuff was in my hand, he shot me in my hand. And I look back like, this shouldn't be, because it's a shock to see somebody actually shooting at you. It's like, was this real? And so he tried to run me over with the car, but I got out the way of the car. And then that's when he turned around and he shot me again in my back. And then the third bullet went through my chest. And I was just laying on the ground and I'm looking at my hand and I'm like, my hand is wide open. So I think I was more shocked than anything to actually realize, like, oh, I just got shot. And so I'm laying on the ground, and as I'm on the ground, he's on top of me, and he's a nurse. So he go and gets his medical bag, and he gets his cell phone. He called the police and said, I just shot my wife, and can somebody come? He rips my shirt up, trying to figure out why he shot me at. He stayed on the ground with me. He had the phone on his ear while he was applying pressure. He's on the phone with the paramedics, and he's like, I don't know what happened. Then he said, well, I shot her. Then he was like, well, it was an accident. And he was like, Amy, look what you made me do. And I'm looking like, I didn't make you shoot me. Like, what do you mean what I made you do? And so he was like, if you would have just did what you're supposed to do, we wouldn't be where we are today. And it's like, you blaming everything on me? Like, how did I make you do this? Because I didn't want to be with you anymore. So it was kind of like, I didn't want to be in a situation. He wanted me to stay in a situation. But before he shot me, it was so much other type of abuse before this day happened. And I was like, okay, I'm done with this guy 2 weeks before I left. And like, he was like, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. And he did. And I didn't go to work for like 2 weeks. It was like, don't come because he keep coming up here. And I was like, no, he ain't gonna stop my money. Y'all know how we talk. I was like, he ain't gonna stop my money. I'm coming to work. I'm tired of not coming to work. I'm tired of hiding. Like I couldn't go home. I couldn't go to my grandma's house. Nobody knew where I was. And so I was like, I can't keep doing this. Like I can't live my life not doing anything. And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna give in. And I just went to work that day, a regular day. He sat outside my job for 7.5 hours until I came out the door. And when I came out and got ready to leave, that's when he pulled up and he just shot me. And it was just like, I'm looking at you like you the only man that I ever knew, the only man that I ever loved, and you gonna turn around and you do this to me? Like we grew this together. We grew a life together. We was all we knew. But this is what you do to me. So it's kind of like you just being awe. You know what I'm saying? It's an awe moment of like this disbelief. Like I'm not believing what I'm actually going through right now. So of course, since I worked at a bingo hall at that time, and he was a nurse, it was quick. Like everybody from my job was outside. The police got there really, really quick. Like I probably was on the ground maybe 15 minutes or so, but everything happened really fast. It wasn't like I was just laying there. They did arrest him because they got the gun out the backseat, and they arrested him right then and there. Got him to the hospital. I was still up, like I raised my hand to let everybody know I'm okay because people was calling out my name and stuff. And when I got to the hospital, that's when stuff started somewhat to fade. I could hear the doctor saying stuff like she may not make it because the bullet went through my lungs. It went through like all of my stomach. It went through basically a lot of the organs and all that stuff that we need to be here. And they was like, yeah, she's probably not gonna make it. But I know my God, and I don't know about nobody else. But one thing I do know, if you know how to pray, baby, you go and get up on the knees and you talk to him like you ain't never talked to him before. And so that's what I did because that's how I was brought up. Said if you can't talk to nobody else, you go to God. So that's what I did. I started praying as soon as it happened. And I was in the hospital from May. No, wait, I got shot in April. I forgot when I got shot. I got shot in April, and I didn't get out until July, the end of July. And so, yeah, that's basically my story of how it happened. And I just tell people now, like when a lot of people come and talk to me and say, "Hey man, how you so happy and you so lovely and you do this and you do that?" Because I am not my chair. This does not define me. I am who I am. That's why I got my shirt on and say I am not my chair. Don't judge my chair, judge me, okay? Because we be rolling. So you can't look at somebody and be like, "Oh, they so sad," or "Oh, they so depressed." Negative. That's not gonna happen. Not this way, okay? We live a great life. And that's what I tell people. Just because you have something bad happen to you, you don't have to let the situation go on with you all through your life. You can still find peace. You can still find joy. You can still find something that brings you happiness. And a lot of people, when they have something dramatic happen to them, they just lose sight and be like, "Oh, the world is over. I'm in the wheelchair. I can't do nothing." That's not true. You can drive. You can work. You can get your own house. You can do whatever you put your mind to, but it's a mind thing. And a lot of people don't realize that they get so stuck on what they can't do, they don't look at what they can do. And the first thing I want to know is, can I talk? Look, can I talk? Can I move? Can I drive? Can I live? Like, that's all I want to know. Because at first I couldn't talk.
Hello?
And baby, anybody that know me know I love to talk, period. I'm like, hey, I got to talk. So I had to get my voice back. Okay? So after that, it was the sky was the limit. Like, you hold yourself back. And that's what I tell people all the time. So yeah, that's it.
Ooh.
That's it.
See, this is what I needed.
It's the driver for me.
Again, kudos. Come on. Come on. Come on. But it's the strength for me, okay? It's the strength for me, ladies. Because again, like I could not imagine. I could not imagine going through that. I couldn't imagine being on the other side, vice versa. And like I said, I think it should not define who you are at all. It's your story, it's your testimony, it's a way of you communicating to somebody else. It's just another way of God putting you through something in life, and you're gonna get through it. You see what I'm saying? As it's nothing. I feel. Oh my gosh, I'm Erica take over real sick. I just can't believe this. Like it's I'm like that's what I'm saying. It's just so much, and it's a beautiful story. But it's okay. We're gonna get to it, Erica.
Uh, dang, just put me on the spot. No, I'm
I
kidding.
did.
But not no. Honestly, both of y'all have a beautiful story, and like I said, I admire both of you because, like Jasmine said, I don't know if I could go through that. And not to say that y'all don't have people that love y'all and that won't ride for y'all, but my folks is crazy. So,
I can believe it.
You can put your hands on me if you want to. I mean, I don't think that's the best idea. I mean, but you can do it if you want to. But my folks is crazy. Okay, like they certifiable probably. And again, like I said, not saying that y'all don't have those same type of people riding for y'all, but that's just a situation I would never want to be in, and I know it's a situation y'all never wanted to be in either. So I really do admire y'all's strength. You get up every day, you live your life, and you keep going because that's all you can do. I mean, like, it's they didn't kill you. What don't kill you make you stronger. So, I just really admire y'all, and I think y'all have an incredible story, honestly.
It's a beautiful story, and yeah, I can't just get over it. Like it's a beautiful story.
I can say, how you said you don't know if you have people to ride for us and all that type of stuff. Whereas for myself, I didn't tell anybody that I was being beat on. I didn't tell anybody I was being verbally abused. I kept it all to myself because I'm the type of person that whatever happens in my relationship, it's nobody's business. I know better now, and I'm still the same way, but ain't nobody crazy enough to put their hands on me now because I'm like, okay, I ain't who I used to be. Look, I'm the type of person now.
Right.
Put you on top of me and say they did it, okay? Who? No. But I'm just saying, I was the one that never told nobody. I was the one that never told nobody, like, oh, I was getting abused, or he's talking to me crazy. I just kept it to myself because who was I gonna tell? Although I had friends and godparents and stuff like that, but they looking at him like he a youth pastor. You know what I'm saying? He got his hands on right, so they're looking at him like, well, he's not gonna do that. I'm not gonna believe that. People don't believe it because they see us in public, but they don't know what we go through behind closed doors. So you can't just say, oh, if you go tell somebody that they'll do something. That's not all the way. I don't believe it. Mm-mm.
Now, once that phone call went out, family, friends, one trying to tell the other one don't do it. The other one, I'm finna join them. And like my family, like when I came to and everybody was telling me, like my family was riding out. It was like one of my cousins looked like from Atlanta to Birmingham in 2 seconds. But they, like my family, they were literally looking for him. And they actually end up catching up with him at Trinity Hospital. But when my brother and my cousin went to the back, the police and the doctor came in at the same time. Yeah.
They got stopped. That was God.
See, that was the Lord.
Right.
That was the Lord saving him. They was gonna kill him.
Right.
They was gonna kill him.
That was the Lord sparing his life.
Yeah, they was gonna get him. They
was gonna kill him, and
the family wasn't empty-handed.
Hello, and I don't expect them to be.
Yeah, I got.
You send out that one phone call, and it's like it's a signal that spread abroad. Like it's like everybody hear that one phone call at the same time. And
see, I know for me personally, I have my smart uncles and I got my hood low key uncles. Okay, so. My godfather and my Uncle Tony, they would have been a little bit more smart about it, But they're Terry and they're Silas and Jordan.
Yeah.
Like I said, I never get again. I had a guy come to my job on an incorrect note one time that Jordan knew. let's just say Jordan came looking.
Mm.
My dad didn't even know what he had on him. My brother came looking, and that was it. He saw me crying and just kind of distraught. Where
Mhm.
he at? That's all he had to know, and he was exactly no. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you said. That one on Erica D. Her crazy self might have done something too. So
Hey man, quit, don't be telling all my business like that.
I'm just saying.
You,
But like,
you in my business. Don't do
I mean,
that.
well,
Don't
I'm
do
just
that.
I. Am I lying? You just okay.
Like
But
I
what?
said, you in my business. Don't do that.
Okay, whatever. But what I'm saying is just like seriously, like I couldn't imagine. I know me. I'm gonna fight first. I'm gonna try to fight you. I promise you.
Mhm.
I'm trying to fight.
Yeah.
Like it's me and you. I don't care. My little short self, your top.
Yeah.
How you want to do this?
Yeah.
How do you
Mhm.
want to do this? And then like I said, it takes a lot for me to be upset a lot. But when I do, I see red. And when I see red, I don't know what's going on.
Mhm.
So I'm grabbing in and everything to throw, hit at you, whatever I got to do. And
Mhm.
again, I don't think no one again sees this. No one. I know y'all didn't expect this, and I would love to know what was going through their mind to prepare for this, like
Well,
beforehand.
Me too.
You see what I'm saying?
okay.
Because you just
Well,
walked
I
in the door.
know.
You was
Cause
okay,
you had
Celia.
I
seven
know
and
he
a
was
half
under.
hours.
I know he was
To
under
leave.
the influence, and from
Mm.
what I got, they was like he was drinking everything and taking everything. So you know. And later on, I get a letter from him stating that he was on crack cocaine.
Oh
Mm.
Jesus.
So, how was it after? Like immediately, where did you guys go through? What I'm assuming, and this is what I'm assuming. I'm assuming you might went through a sense of depression because it's a new life for both of you guys. Okay, so Amy said no. Okay,
I
come
can
on,
speak on that
Amy.
first.
And I think,
No, ma'am. I ain't never
and
depressed. Never.
my thing
Ever.
was, I was fighting so hard to get back to my children.
Mhm.
To it didn't it didn't cross my mind at the time. Now, a little while after everything kind of settled, I got home because I was in the hospital like 45 days, and that's
Mhm.
including rehab, ICU, the regular hospital, and rehab. So, kind of like once things settled, I was like, why me? You know, why this happened? Because I'm a track star, so I'm like, why me? Why this had to happen to me? But my family, my friends didn't let me stay there. I knew I still had to keep going. I have those moments, but I still had to push forward because at the
Mhm.
time my children was 10, 9, 3, and 1.
Mhm.
So I had to, it was a must that I got back to me, you know.
I don't know what happened to Jazz. I guess she cut the camera off. Oh, there you go.
I'm here. My phone
Oh,
was
I
finna
ain't know
die,
what
so I was
happened.
going to get a chair. I was finna get a
Oh,
charger. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
I I didn't know what happened, child. Okay. Dog, I'm losing my train of thought. I had a question. I don't remember what it was.
Mhm.
Well, I can
Um.
say for me, no, I never went through depression or none of that. I do have
Mhm.
anxiety and PTSD,
Yeah.
but like me being depressed or sad about my situation or looking at it like, why me? Why not me? I'm not so special that something can't happen to me.
Mhm.
Like, I mean, yes, I got favor of God, but hey,
Well,
God
yeah.
has sometimes He got to sit us down now.
Yeah,
So, mm-mm.
that's true.
And
Yeah.
He set me down for real. Okay.
Me literally.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Hold on, y'all. I had to get some. I was thirsty. I had to get some juice. Um. So I guess like and I don't know if y'all, go on like speaking engagements or talk to women about, what y'all have been through, but what are some signs that women should look out for, like red flags? Like you should, if you see it, it's like, no, you need to get out of there now before something happens to you. So what were some, I guess, like red flags in your own relationship that maybe you ignored or that you just didn't see at that time?
Isolation, trying to keep me from my parents and friends. Like my friends was like, we called you when I go to work the next day. We called you. You didn't call. I was like, I didn't get a call. I didn't know y'all called. It, did nobody tell me. Always upset. Like you wake up mad, you go to bed mad. Like what is it? It jealousy. But like I said, at that time, I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I was just like, okay, no, he don't put his hands on me. I'm good, because I didn't know. I didn't know. That was like my main thing, the isolation and just the always upset. You can't say nothing to him, just fly off the handle for no reason, and it got to a point where stuff was happening. Then it wasn't my fault, but I'm apologizing. Like I ain't even doing that, but why am I apologizing? I'm just like, but okay, all right, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree with everything she just said. That's basically the same thing that I was gonna say. So, yeah, that and mine was it was a couple small things. Well, I think they're big things now. But like before I was checking your phone, he watched every move that I made. Like I couldn't wear lipstick. I couldn't have my hair down. And back then I had long hair. Like now it's not long. So it would just be the small things that he'll be like, oh no, you can't do this, you can't do that. Or like if I wanted to go and hang out, he'll be like, what you hanging out for? And you got me. Like what? What do you mean? Like no. So you gotta pay attention to small details that they do. If they tell you can't wear certain things, or they checking your phone, or they want to know where you're going, when you're coming back, how long you gonna be gone. Like you ain't my dad, you ain't my mama, you ain't gotta know everything. Like you, as long as you know that I made it safely and I get back safely, that's all that matters.
I was accused of cheating. Of course, it wasn't me. I did catch one time he checked the trip button on the car. So when I figured out that's what he was doing, every time I pulled back up in the yard, I reset it. Small things like you said, they're big now, but it was just things like that, that led up into that, or that could lead up into this big,
Hold on, y'all. This Jasmine. Hello. No. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, her phone died, y'all. She just, I think her phone died. She coming back though. Sorry, she had to make sure the live didn't drop. So okay. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've never been in that situation. So I definitely agree with those red flags, and a lot of times, when I've been to like seminars and stuff like that, but where they've done domestic violence awareness and everything, a lot of people don't know it's like a mind thing. Like these men, they will like manipulate you and control you, and people think it's just so easy to get up and leave. And I think that's why I have such a soft spot for people who are in that situation, because I know a lot of times people be like, well, why don't they just leave? Why don't they, and it's like, it's not as easy to leave as you think it is. Like it's a mind thing. Like they make you think that you need them, like that you don't have anybody else, all those different types of things. So it's not easy, to leave, because it's manipulation. So it's like, if somebody is telling you, well, you wouldn't be this without me, or you wouldn't have this without me, and your mama don't want you, and your daddy don't like stuff like that. Like you internalize that stuff, and you think you need that person. So it's a lot harder to leave than people try to make it seem. But we did have a question from Asia Marie. She said, any advice for people who have been in your shoes?
And that's Aisha.
I'm sorry,
I'm gonna
Aisha.
post up there. It's
I'm
Aisha.
sorry.
It's Aisha.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So can y'all see the question, ladies?
Yeah, we can
Okay.
see. Well, I can see it.
Okay.
You can go ahead, Amy.
For people that's been like the shoes I'm in now, or the ones I was walking, because them
Both,
shit was
honey. Both,
Oh,
honey.
okay. You gotta be clear. Okay,
Right.
so when I was walking, if somebody on the outside is telling you, hey, they crazy, and people on the outside can see what you can't see, because you
Paint.
so caught up in love, listen to them people. Especially if these are people like in their family. And they're like, hey, this person is really this way, they're that way. Listen to them. They know them. They have been around them, okay? It's not that they want to be with them, but they actually know them. The person that I am now that's in a wheelchair, um, say this isn't what you want, but it ain't what you want. Like, I mean, it's not a bad life to be in a
No.
wheelchair, but at the same time, you don't want this life. You don't want to have to drag a chair everywhere you go. You don't want to have to. You got to plan your day before your day is even started, and
Right.
like you should do that anyway. But what I'm saying is, it's extra stuff that we have to do that you just shouldn't want to go through. So the me now, if I the stuff I know now, if I would have knew back then, child, you wouldn't be able to tell me nothing, honey.
Okay. Right.
Okay, I would have been left. I when I seen them at 13,
You
honey,
want
at
to
the
use
church house,
it?
I would have been going the opposite way. Not to
Mm-hmm.
them, okay? Pastor who?
Yeah.
Bye. I don't need it. Like that's the thing. That's the problem. So yeah, the me now, I was about me knowing like I would just do so much stuff different. Cause I mean, it's just so much to think about being in a wheelchair. And the
Yes,
old
it
me,
is.
you know what
It
I'm
is.
saying? It was just like, yeah,
It's a lot.
no,
You
it
have
is.
moments where 1 second you feeling good, the next moment you hurting. Like, I know I was just grinning a second ago, but right now I'm in pain. The
Mm-hmm.
medication, you have to take, the way you have to use the restroom, like our whole life is just rerouted a whole different way, and it takes a little more time. We still push and keep going. You may see us. I've had people to tell me, look, you need to act like you handicapped, because you be getting up here like it ain't nothing. They're like, well, maybe if you act like you're handicapped, I won't assume that you could just jump up here when I call you. But you, but it's hard for me to just act like that,
Yes.
because
Yeah.
I've never been that type of person. But it is days where I be like, look, I can't move. I'm sorry. Kids, go cook me something to eat. But um this life here, I can say, I work now, but it I turned it to a positive, and it actually gave me more time to be more involved, with my children, or being that parent we can call on. Hey, we need you to do this, or we need you to do that. Okay, I'll do it. So, and it wasn't just for my kids. I have a herd of kids. I have a whole bunch of them, from a football team to a volleyball team to a softball team, basketball, all of it, coaches, everybody. you know. So I have to just be like hurting really, really bad for me
To say
to
no.
just be like, I'm finna lay here today. I'm not
Mhm.
moving. A lot of times people didn't even know I'm sitting at the games, hurting like crazy, but people didn't even know. I didn't let it show, because That's not why I was there. I was there to support my kids and others. So, a lot of times I was sitting there like, oh Lord, please let this game hurry up and be over. So I have to carry a bag with me every time I go somewhere. You know, um, of course, the way we use the restroom, the way I use the restroom is different from others now. So I have to tote a bag with me everywhere I go. So it's a lot. We definitely have to prep, you know.
Yeah.
Um I can't go without that bag. A mishap may happen. I have to have that bag.
Okay. Um, and this is one question that is something that came in my head as I wanted to prepare, and I know this. If you want to speak on it, um, how is it forgiving those who did it to y'all? The men that did this and did this to y'all. Is how is the forgiving process look
That's a
like?
good question, though. That's a good
I'm
question.
serious because
It's
you have to think
definitely a good
about
question.
forgiving. Like I said, what I said, we always say that, like, even when you go through a breakup and stuff like that. People always say just
No,
forgive
forgiveness
them.
is for the other person.
Mhm.
Right, and it's not, but it's also for yourself. It's also for you
Mm-hmm.
to move on and not have so much anger towards that person. Because I know it's hard. I know, like, my first little break, I had to really prepare myself to forgive that person. I tried to, like,
Mm-hmm.
really hate them, but I couldn't. It wasn't in me to do that. But I had to take time. It might not have been right then, but I had to take time to forgive them. I
Mm-hmm.
can only imagine how was y'all process of really truly forgiving the men that did this to y'all, and, like, and then I'm going to another question, but, like, how was it really, like, just forgiving? Like, what was your process of everything? Like you said, I know, Miss Shawn, you like, you have kids. You probably, that wasn't probably the first day. Amy was like, man, forget depression. Now I'm worried about, can I talk again? So, like, that was your next step. So, what was your what was your, like I said, approach to forgiving? And do you forgive them now? Has there been any contact, or have they tried to reach out and ask for forgiveness? Or, so I'm gonna let y'all have the floor, but forgiving is forgiving is the question.
So normally I was like, or when I go and speak, and I'm like, yeah, I forgive him. I forgive him. And one of my good friends posed a question. She was like, what if he was in your face? I was like,
Mm,
okay, I got to go regroup.
bring that back.
It's easy to kind of say it now because I don't have to deal with him.
Right.
But she was like, what if he was in your face? I'm like, okay, Lord, we got to start over. But when it first happened, he did send letters, and one of the letters, each letter I turned into the DA. Um,
Okay.
um, one of the letters did say, "I'm sorry for our unforeseen circumstances." No, sir, you caused this. What's unforeseen about it? You did it. So I don't accept that as an apology. I need to
Audacity.
say, Tracy is my nickname. I'm sorry for shooting you. I don't need no
Yeah.
unforeseen circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
That's not telling me nothing.
That's inclement. Inclement weather is unforeseen
Thank
circumstances.
you. Thank you.
The audacity.
Erica, I was waiting on you to go put that line in there, baby.
You know,
Put
if
the
it's
line
one
in there,
thing,
cause
if it's one thing men they always got the audacity.
them niggas, they got nothing else.
If
They
they
got
don't
the
have
audacity.
nothing else,
They
they
got the
got the
audacity.
audacity.
And then I hear um well if I could just talk to her on the phone.
Mm-mm.
Sir, I don't think you really don't want that. God is still working with me,
Mm-hmm.
and this tongue can get very lethal. So,
Hallelujah.
you know, you might just want to just leave it be. But yeah, he tried to make contact with me, but and Divorce court. I told no contact with me or the kids. We have nothing to talk about. Like nothing.
So okay. Wait. So these are your kids' father that did this to you.
Last two.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But still it's the principle of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like your dad did put your mom in that predicament. Oh
Yeah.
my
That's
goodness.
tough.
I can only think about now what the kids think
That's
of their
tough.
dad. You know what I'm saying? And
And
mm,
actually, like the youngest, she was one, so
trying to remember.
she can't remember. Right.
Mhm.
So the only way she have seen me is in a wheelchair. She saw a
Mhm.
picture of me standing up one time and she was excited about it. The 3 year old, when she was three at the time, she recognized it at the time, but I don't, it didn't quite sink in with her either. She did know I used to walk, but as far as
Mhm.
um, I think it passed over time. I don't know if they got used to seeing me in the wheelchair, but I
Hmm.
know my baby. It was just this is the only way she knew me.
Right.
In
And like I said, I do I know your oldest. Well, your oldest daughter. Jayla's the oldest.
Josh,
But
the oldest.
no, Jayla's the oldest daughter though, right?
She's the
Yeah.
oldest.
So that's why I said I know your oldest daughter, and I'm gonna get to her comments because I'm watching her comments as they come in. I'm trying to hold them back because it's so good. It's good stuff, and
Yeah.
like I said, I know her personality, and I kind of feel like I know what Jayla thinking about it, and I'm gonna leave it like that. But I
Yeah.
don't fault her. I don't
Yeah.
fault her about it at all. And yeah, I'm gonna leave that right there because I kind of feel like I know where Jayla will go with that. But I can't.
Mhm.
Like I said, I cannot fault your kids, especially two
Right.
oldest ones,
Right.
because
Mhm.
they kind of have more vivid memory of it.
Right.
And again, it wouldn't be me. Like I said, I have a sick father. I saw him in the hospital again. That was unseen circumstances. He wasn't put there by nobody else. But I
Mhm.
can't imagine if he was put there by somebody else. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like,
And they said unforeseen circumstances.
Unforeseen girl.
Child, go to hell.
go to hell and back. Go
I'm
with gasoline
sorry.
draws on. Like that's what I'm saying. What? Like as they say, go to hell with gasoline draws on because it's not me. And you know how could you? Child, I want to his psych meds and his stuff too after the fact.
Okay.
I want to his therapy.
He was on
No,
some good gas. He was smoking that good crack.
cause well,
I'm sorry.
no, for him to just think it was like, oh yeah, no, nigga, you did this. Like
Right.
this
He
is what you're
was,
doing.
Right.
And like I
baby,
said
what
again,
crack was he smoking?
this
Let
is
me
your
know so I could stay away.
this
Okay.
is your
Not that I
story.
would smoke crack, but
Anything, just whatever he was on, keep it away from me. But
please.
it's just the audacity. Like, nigga, what?
Whew.
He tried it, Amy.
So I say, yeah, Amy, I'm interested to
I
know,
want to see how you
you know,
forgave.
because the
I
look on
really.
your face when she mentioned forgiveness, I was like, I
Ooh,
don't.
Amy got a story.
So I'm interested to know.
Okay. Um. So yeah. We went to trial, and my my shooting, it happened on camera, so I had to watch myself over and over get shot. And
Mm.
so dealing with that, he was sitting right there, and he was like, "Can you just forgive me? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it." And I'm looking at him like, "Is you looking at what I'm looking at? Like, did you see me not hit the ground? Did you see you kept shooting? Like, you know what I'm saying?" So when it came to him asking me to forgive him, child, no, and the pastors and everybody, hey, you got to do it for yourself, and this, and that. Well, look, myself ain't ready. Okay, myself ain't ready. I don't know about yourself, but mine
Right.
ain't ready. Okay, we
Right.
ain't ready to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
So, So now I have my days where I forgive him. I have my days when I'm hurting too bad. I be like, you know what? Let me go see my
Mm-hmm.
pinky toe. So,
Right.
we have our days, but he did ask for forgiveness. He reached out to friends. He reached out to people that I knew. He wrote them letters. He actually tried to call me since he's been in. Like, I had to go on the alias name when I was in the hospital because he tried to come to the hospital to see me. So, yeah, like, he asked for
Wait,
forgiveness and stuff, but
wait. You
y'all
said he
already
tried to
know
see
that
you.
wasn't gonna happen.
So wait, you said he
Mm-hmm.
tried to see you.
Huh?
What
Child.
he didn't believe he shot you or something? Like what?
What?
The
I mean, at
audacity.
first, I don't know what y'all got to talk to him on that part. I just tell you what he told me and actually what happened. So shot me, but it's kind of, I guess he like in disbelief, like he didn't know because, like I told you, he went to jail that night, but he got out the next day, and so he was trying to come to the hospital to see me, and that's why they had put me on the alias name, like my everything. Nobody knew nothing about me. I had a code and everything in my room,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, it was real. It was real. But I mean, I had a lot of people that was like, "Amy, can you just call him? Because he really want to talk to you. Talk to me. I can't even talk.
Wait.
What do right on my
Okay.
head?
Okay.
Like no, like
Child.
Mm-hmm.
nothing to say. But yeah, he did ask for it. I can say now, in my faith for God, I can say that I forgave him. But if I see him right now, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I don't know if I'm gonna be cool, calm, and collect, or if I'm gonna be
Right.
like, what I'm saying? Like, what's up?
You
Let's
Like,
like
go.
no,
I
you know what you did.
Run them over.
don't know. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough cookie.
I'm just
See,
I'm finna rewind your story back real quick.
he tried to come see you in the house. That is ridiculous.
The thing is though, it was that you said the friends was calling to tell you to call him.
Oh, yeah, I
Baby,
can believe it. I can believe it.
no. Baby, I wish y'all Negroes would call me.
I can
Tell
believe
me
it.
to call
No.
that man.
Oh, no, I wouldn't call. Please.
But I'm just saying, like,
But people
what?
who are friends with abusers and stuff, they don't believe that they abuse people. So it's very easy for them to pick up the phone and be like, "You need to forgive my homeboy because he didn't mean it." No, your homeboy shot me,
Mm-hmm.
and you will probably go and shoot somebody too if that's your homeboy.
The
Because birds of a
Well,
manipulation.
feather.
yeah, flock together.
The
Okay.
manipulation. They can manipulate their friends too.
And that's why
I
I
didn't. I
say
didn't
now,
mean to do
yeah.
this, and I'm honestly sorry. Go and call and tell her call me. Mm-mm. No.
No.
Yeah, I went through that.
Wow.
Like I said, I wish a nigga would. I wish a Negro would. Like I said, let me get into something like that,
I
Lord.
don't.
Mm-mm.
After I try to fight you, if I lose or have it go, I know I done gave it my best.
Yeah.
But let Silas come down, make a phone call. Let Terrence come. Let Scooter. Anybody that's close proximity. Oh, you done. You're done for. Let Terry come down here for Shreveport. Let Terry come down here for Shreveport. That 8 hour drive, baby, will be maybe 5 minutes. Fool is me if you want to.
Mm, mm, mm.
They I no. I'm his only niece on my dad's side. Like, no, we don't do that. Let me find out my cousin in Detroit. Done. No, like that's what I'm saying. Like I'm gonna rub my hands like I'm ready to fight because I'm just like I can't. Y'all stories that got me riled up. Like I just can't really see this really happening. Like truly, but it's like I said, it's just one again. Let me just give y'all a round of applause. Just, your story is beautiful. You ladies are beautiful. I really appreciate y'all for coming. I know it's kind of last minute. I know I called y'all a little last minute because I just got back in town. But I do appreciate y'all for coming on the way you did. This was a beautiful, beautiful story. I'm gonna go to some of the comments and showcase them off. We got, of course, your baby from YouTube.
Hey, baby.
Jayla watching. She said, "Hey," she said, "Hey, mom." And I think when you start telling your story, she got a little emotional, which is fine. It's very understandable.
Yeah.
Um, Aisha was just, that's her saying, thank God, like y'all story, baby, just is there. A friend from Dallas, he said hello. Um, Aisha said she loves the shirt. Amy, she said she loves your shirt.
I like that too.
Right. She said, thank you for sharing. Aisha also said, like when I asked her about the depression question, she did come up and say, it wasn't room for it. And I agree. It wasn't room for it, but it does happen. It does happen. It can happen. People go through their depression stage of what you're used to a whole 360 of life, and everything has changed now, for everything going on. So, again, I got it. Aisha said, Amy, you so funny. But when you asked my share, Jayla gave us some purple hearts. Aisha said she just loves it. Okay. And then Jayla said again, as y'all said, I just want to say, Mommy, I love you with all my heart. You and Miss Amy are the most beautiful and strongest woman I have ever laid eyes on. I can't even see right now. I'm crying so much. Well, I'm crying. So it should be good tears. Girl, I'm trying to hold them back
Oh,
because
my baby.
it's a story. And like I said, when I met Jayla and I found out you was her mom, I said, "Boy, I know your mama."
I know.
I was like, "Okay, I know your mama." And like I said, I remember your story, well, from Ramsey days. And like I said,
Right.
Amy, me and you met, from the podcast shoot, baby. You came and showed out. Like I said, like, you don't let nothing stop you. And I think it kind of threw, like I said, some people, when they see, people with, you have to let them do them. You have to, and some people, and I learned it in Lakeshore, it is, some of them get, not saying, yeah, the community will get offended if you help. Some do get offended when you help or something like that. They will ask you what they need, and they'll tell you. And I've learned that. And like I said, y'all came in with Carnisha. I said, they gonna do their thing. I ain't worried about them. I'm not worried about it. Cause I just knew y'all gonna come in and just whatever. Next. Right here, they came in. Next. What? I'm like, yes, ma'am. I wasn't worried about it. I was not worried about you guys at all. It's just like you said. It's just you have to do things a little bit different. But you can't. It's not that you can't do it. You just gotta do it a little bit different. And like I said, growing up with a sick father, he always tells me, it's always somebody who got it worse than what you got. So I always try to remember that. Again, what you might be, again, you went through domestic violence, but at the same time, you survived. Some people didn't make it out.
Right.
And like I said, that's what I think about. And I want to educate people that it's not just women getting hit. Men get hit too. Men go through verbal abuse too.
Yeah.
Women, and then like the women, I hate to say the women who do put men through it, y'all flip it. Yeah, we beat ourselves up to make it look like they did it and make them look bad. That's just, you got some women that's out there shyster like that. And like I said, so because when I see it in the news and when I see like stuff like that, I always think too, it's three sides to the story. It's his side, her side, and the truth. And just like with the whole situation, like I always bring that back up because it's all, everybody talks about the Chris Brown Rihanna situation. What happened?
I know.
Yeah. It's let me see. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Like I said, again, I'm not condoning that situation because of the situation, but at the same time, I don't. After he told his story, it wasn't the first time, and she was hitting on him as well. Like I said, women do it too. But because he's the man, he had more to lose as far as like career and stuff like that. He had more to lose than she did. They were both big. He will never live that down. Never, probably. And it's sad, but he was a victim in it too. He grew at the same time. If you listen to his backstory, he watched it as his mom too. He grew up in that as well. So, like I said, I know people are, you just gonna defend him. I said, no, I really, no offense. She's from the islands. She crazy. Island women are crazy. So I didn't believe that he just hit her and she didn't do nothing else. Uh-uh. I knew. I just knew. I wasn't trying to be funny, but I just knew. But it's like I said, it's not a funny situation or anything. But I just know. I couldn't see it. Just like I said, until I heard everything, I couldn't just see it that it was literally just him the whole time. I knew it had, like I said, it was both of them to each other, and that's possible too. That's what you call a toxic situation, where two people can be toxic towards each other. And they hit on each other mentally and physically and verbally. So it's not just gonna always be. And when people see the message, like they just think just physically. No, it's mental
Mm.
as well. It's verbal as well. Um, so ladies, while I look up do you have any resources in Birmingham that you guys can shout out for those who are going through domestic violence or anything?
Mm.
Um, we still have the Y, and I forgot the name of it. Do you know, Amy? Is it One Stop?
I don't
Um,
know. I know the YWCA, they can do that. Yeah, I do know that, but I don't know
they
about the other one.
they combine with
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
Uh-oh. What happened?
girl, my phone. I'm finna put them back in here, girl. I'm
Jesus.
sorry, y'all.
You and his phone?
I know it's just oh no.
Oh, man. Technical difficulties, y'all. We sorry.
Okay, boom, action, action. Okay, sorry, ladies. That was my ghetto phone. Okay,
Gotta unmute.
are they muted?
Yeah, you
Is
did.
Lashundra muted?
Yeah, she muted.
Oh,
Unmute. Unmute.
okay,
okay,
sorry.
she sees.
I think
Okay,
it's called One Stop, and what it is, where victims, instead of them having to go here to the magistrate and go here to this person, it's all in one place now. Wait a minute, let me see.
are you put it right now?
Uh, Gosh, I hate that. Um, Give me a second. I'm gonna find the name. One place. One place.
Okay,
I think that's what it is. And, like I said, that place is where the victim go, and they don't have to travel to the magistrate office or travel to this office to do reports and all this stuff. Everybody's in one spot for them. Yeah, I think it's one place.
okay. And Amy, did you have any extra resources that you can say or think of?
I can't think of any. Mm-mm.
Well, I did look up, of course, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Of course, that is always something to go to. I always hear about that one right off the bat.
Mhm.
So please reach out to the National Domestic Hotline, their website, and how you can always reach out because they have it where you can do it online. They have it where you can do it on the phone. Their number is 1-800-799. Again, 1-800-799-SAFE. So the number be 1-800-799-7233. Um, Erica, did you have anything pulled up? Anything extra that you would like to say?
No, I did not have anything pulled up today for once.
The Y number is 205-322 hurt 205-322-4878.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I didn't have anything pulled up, but I would say, since we've been in the pandemic and everything, I know there's been a increase in domestic violence, and going into the holidays is probably going to be an increase of domestic violence. So I would just say, if anybody out there who's on this live or who will listen once this goes on Apple Podcasts and everything, just take advantage of the resources. If you're in Birmingham, call the YWCA or call the excuse me, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Just take advantage of the resources.
And just don't be afraid to say anything, and don't think about yourself first. That's the advice that I can say. Think about yourself first. Know your worth, and just don't settle for anything, and don't think, oh, well, he'll change, or I don't know what happened, or
or I can change him.
right, or you can change him. It's not your fault. It's nothing that can know if that's who they are. That's who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? They say when somebody shows you who are they are the first time, believe it. So you have to like I said, you have to. I know it's hard. So of course, it's easier said than done. But get out. I can't stress it enough to get out. Get out. Get out, or live with living a whole different life because you didn't choose to get out. Like I said, not because you didn't choose, but because you choose to leave and they snap, or you know what I'm saying, or if you just kept thinking, oh, he's gonna change, and the change could be for the worse. So that's just that's really the only thing I can honestly say. Support every cause with it. Support those women. Like I said, you don't know who's going through stuff. And again, if you see it, call it out. Don't if you see it in public, because some of them bold, they will show it in public and won't care. So, Amy, is there anything else that you like to say, Pooh?
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank y'all, ladies, for being
Thank
on
y'all.
here.
Thank you.
And like I said, we
You're
hope
welcome.
if it didn't touch anybody, at least it maybe touch one person, just your story. So, ladies, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. This is the Black
Love
Women
you
Diaries
too.
podcast.
Thank you.
And we'll see
Thank
you guys
y'all.
later. Bye.
Bye-bye. Nice to
Bye.
meet y'all.
Bye.